Welcome to another episode of Driving to the Rez with
Larry
and Inelia and Astro Lee.
Astro Lee.
Yes. Very happy to be here. Yeah.
How's the truck?
Oh, it's surprisingly quiet and smooth. Yeah.
It's all right. You don't even turn up the heater or anything.
No, it's just like I like it. Yeah, I feel the atmosphere.
We could call this our Shemashak Chronicle, although we're at the Awanden.
We are. We're halfway to the Rez because our Rez wasn't working. And the one at the Shemashak wasn't working, so we got a third option with our friend's house.
Yeah.
And they live at the Awenden, so yeah, we're at the Awenden. So welcome to the Driving to the Rez, Lee. And the reason we asked you to be our guest is because we absolutely love your astrological, right?
He's like J.P. Sears in astrology.
Yes, yeah, he's
got it.
That's high praise.
He's got it down.
And he is hilarious.
I mean, updates,
when he feels like it.
Yeah, the updates are absolutely amazing, and like they're only a few seconds long sometimes, but
he doesn't waste your time.
No, I don't have to sit for half an hour to learn about what's going to happen, which is very, very good as far as I'm concerned. So there's a few little questions that we wanted to start with.
Yeah, there are things we were curious about because, I don't know if you've noticed, but this year has been, a little bit weird, strange.
2020 has been a little bit odd.
And you did give us you remember your advice at the beginning of this, area this year, somewhere, I don't remember, March-ish, April. And she said something about, what was it? Just go back to bed?
No, that wasn't a month ago.
That was more than a month ago.
It was like October, I think. October,
November. That's 3-4 months.
Yeah, he said, just go back to bed. Come back in December.
Here's your reading for October.
Just go back to bed, ignore everything.
Go back to bed.
Go to sleep. And now he said, come back and wake up.
Come back until December.
And here we are, December, so we want to know,
it's December now. We're ready for our update.
Yeah.
Things going to get better. I heard there's some, Christmas star or something coming, or I don't know. Whatever that is.
Yeah. So
but
before we go there, I wanted to ask Lee a few things, right? Because people are going to be very interested in you and want to know where to find you and stuff like that.
Oh, yes. Okay. Right? I thought that was at the end of the show.
At the beginning and the end.
Okay, we'll put it on twice.
Yeah, twice is good. But we know Lee because he's one of my students and was one of my mentorees. Yeah. So, yay! Good job.
I got to, I know you said not to say anything about it, but I just want to mention he's the best greenhouse builder.
Yes, he built a greenhouse.
Which is not an easy thing. It came from that one tool place that sells tools really cheap. So the greenhouse was fairly inexpensive. And somehow a 20-foot greenhouse showed up in a box that's about
this thin.
That thin, about that wide, 7,000 pieces inside.
Yeah, it was a great team effort, I think. We had a few of us.
It was all Team Astro Lee with a little bit of help from his friends once in a while, but mostly I remember Lee standing out there on a ladder in the dark with a flashlight or a headlight. Screwing these
I just love that kind of stuff,
yeah.
We've written a lot of letters, thank you.
And so for that introduction, I wanted to know why astrology? What is it about astrology that, really inspires you, and when was it that this happened? When did you discover astrology?
Yeah, I think when I was probably when I was reading David Icke's books, and he had a lot about astrology, and then I read about it a little bit then, and I got a reading, and I was at university. That was quite a long reading, and it was esoteric, and it was very interesting. And I always liked the books Linda Goodman's astrology books.
Oh yes, I remember them.
They were really interesting. And
do you know
anything? Yeah.
Linda Goodman had all these books back in I think when I was in just right out of high school, university time, and they were really, really thick, and they had lots about relationships. So if you're looking for your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you could tell, see, they're this and you're this. How does that work?
Oh.
Star signs and things like that. And then all about you and the kind of things. So they're really, really good if you're really interested in yourself and your relationships.
Nice.
Yeah, and if like nothing makes sense, you're like, oh my God, they seem to like have some kind of information here.
Like, this world is awfully confusing. So here, completely explained. Thank you.
Lovely.
Those were good books.
Yeah. Where did you study after that? Did you teach yourself, or did you go to class?
I taught myself, yeah, because there's lots of stuff on the internet, and also the particular astrologers. I think Jonathan Kainer, I think he was in the Sunday Times, had like a weekly kind of reports, and that was kind of helpful. But it's been a kind of endless kind of thing of finding out more about it, like the sun signs, and then the time of birth, how that changes things, and then the different asteroids. So it's also something that's kind of kept developing. It's not kind of stayed as one static system, which was a bit of a surprise.
Ah. It's a development.
So you learned on YouTube University?
Yeah, I got kind of books. I was interested in like things like numerology and astrology as well. Just like different systems for like making sense of things in some way.
Nice.
So the inspiration was to try to make sense of a crazy world?
More or less, yeah.
Has that worked for you?
Well, I developed like a little language that was kind of like personalized, and I thought I can make some kind of meaning out of things, even if it's highly subjective and it's just meaning I'm creating.
Yeah.
Well, that's helpful, I suppose, you're right?
Yeah.
Because it's like you wake in the morning, you stub your toe, you check the star, and you say, oh, that's what it's about.
That's those studying today.
That means, is that the kind of a meaning you mean, or is it a different way?
Well, personality traits really were the interesting thing. Like there's like things you can develop as well. And also it was another thing was it was off the planet. It wasn't like completely unaffected by anything that was happening around me. So that was nice. I was like...
One of the things that you've mentioned before is the difference between high frequency astrology and low frequency astrology. And I thought that would be interesting to get into because, well, one of the things that I like about listening to your forecasts is that the humor behind it, I find it very high frequency. Even if you're saying to us, oh my gosh, the shit's going to hit the fans, pardon my French.
Go back to bed.
Go back to bed. It's said in such a way that, and also with the information behind it of what to do, whatever's. But also I found that, well, I don't know, it's like in the past, I was very interested also in those weekly updates, and I found that they would have both things, this could happen, but you can do this. So, you weren't completely enslaved to the stars as such, but you were very empowered. So what is your take on that? What is the difference between the two and stuff?
Yeah, between like looking at things in the high frequency and the low frequency way of astrology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think every astrology, they have their own perspectives, don't they? And sometimes they're, like in this case, at the moment, there's some astrologers who are very keen to look at what's happened this year with this COVID situation, and tell everybody that they should like follow the guidelines. And the astrology indicates that this is a complete kind of society kind of problem, and they're looking at the Aquarius kind of planets at the end of this month around Christmas and next month, and say like people should use the new medical technology of like a vaccine. But on the to me that's kind of quite a fearful kind of approach, and kind of unaware approach.
Whoa.
I
guess that your lens of that you see things through matters, huh? That's basically.
I would say this is just not the way to do it at all.
No, not at all.
From my perspective.
Tell us what are the stars saying according to Astro Lee regarding the COVID vaccinations and all the rest that's happening on the planet right now?
Well, in my view,
Yes.
there's lots of like long-term cycles. It's mainly an economic kind of thing, it seems to me, where it's actually like there's a couple of long cycles. But I was very interested in looking today at this Eris square Pluto cycle, which is like Eris, like an asteroid that has like 550-year cycle around the sun, and Pluto's 250-year cycle. So they're very long cycles. And this cycle started in 1759, where Eris and Pluto started as a very Sagittarian thing, which was about the Industrial Revolution and the Age of Enlightenment. And this is when that all started, 1760.
Oh,
and
so it's when the massive separation between the self and environment locked into the planet. Is that?
I think it's related to this, yeah.
Yeah.
And this year and last year was part of this kind of finishing.
Okay, it's over.
But there was it was about the banking as well, international banking, because it was all very Sagittarian themes of international.
If you don't mind, if I interrupt for just 1 second. What's a Sagittarian thing?
Sagittarian.
I know what a Leo thing is because I'm a Leo, so it's easy. But a Sagittarian thing?
Like long distance travel, like the international outlook and philosophy. Like these kind of basic things. Sagittarian
things are long-term things?
Yeah. And that's like in the Age of Enlightenment, that's where the people started more philosophizing. And that went on to the second section was in 1909, something like that, where people like Einstein were looking at quantum reality, and that was like a development of that cycle. Mm. And also the cars came in after this. At the start of the Industrial Revolution, steam engines came in, and then there was cars around that time. And then there was a third section around 79, 78, when like there's space travel and like we're moving off the planet a lot more. And all these things like have their third kind of fourth section, sorry, right now.
Oh, that's what's happening again? Pluto?
Well, I see this as, part of our adventures, really, where we're bringing in more artificial intelligence, more space travel for people. And like the international finances are all completely altering. And maybe that's all that's really going on. It's not, I don't really believe there is a COVID virus, to be honest.
So should you get a shot for it?
I don't think you should get a shot for something that doesn't exist. No.
Right.
But I suppose if you get the shot, you might get something.
I wouldn't like to even contemplate the possibility.
Okay. So the Sagittarius,
there's a Sagittarian thing with an asteroid and Pluto, as last I understood.
Okay. So for these cycles that you're talking about that are hundreds of years old, so they started the Enlightenment, then Industrial Revolution, and then the car and
Einstein, and that changed paradigms
and banking, international banking, finance.
And now it's starting again then, or is it ending?
Well, this is like the closing kind of quarter, because there's like the starting point in the 1760, and then there's the first quarter, 1909 or so, and then the peak of it, which is around 1979, and this is like the closing section, so it's all kind of been released.
Okay, so that's the end of it.
I think our listeners are most
over the next 70 years. It's kind of ending. Oh, it's ending.
I think our listeners are probably most interested in when is this going to be over? So you're telling me another 70 years, really?
Well, people could end this like right now if they want, like this year or next year.
Oh, we don't have the stars.
There's no need to follow the stars even, actually. I mean, in my view, it's I look at the pattern and it seems to make sense, but that's just my hobby, my interest.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm confused.
I'm confused.
Yeah, because we know nothing about astrology. We've tried to understand it, but actually
it's just very complicated.
Very complicated for us. It's just maybe one of those brain fart things, you know. And what I understood just now was that all these cycles, that's the last one is coming to an end now in this month, and it's over, and then we're going to have something new. Did I misunderstood?
I think over this year and last year is because these planets and asteroids move so slowly that Eris and Pluto, it stays around the same point in the sky from Earth for like 2 years.
Right. But this is the cycle we're talking about that was hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
That's ending
the
this month
1700s
or this year?
It's a major shift towards ending.
Oh, so it's like going from the start quarter, then it was the main quarter, and now it's shifting to the end quarter.
Like in a baseball kind of.
We've done 3. Now we're switched into the fourth quarter. Is that basically what you're saying? And 70 years of a fourth quarter.
Which is the end.
And that's the end.
Oh, God.
That period.
Well,
the end of the
fourth quarter is now.
Yeah, but it lasts.
The beginning is a couple of days or years. It takes a couple of years. So 2022.
It's like the home straight. That's what I understood anyway. When I looked at it today, I was.
Well, on a high frequency way, we love that.
The endings and beginnings?
The beginning. We have a new high frequency beginning happening.
Okay.
Is that basically what it's saying? And so our fourth quarter is going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, well, that was just one cycle. I mean, to be honest, there's so many cycles.
Oh my God.
I could go on for quite a while.
Okay.
just for example.
For example, how about what happens Monday? So we have an eclipse on Monday. I all of a sudden didn't know.
Well, this is
Monday. Yeah,
let's
what
just
happens
talk about Monday.
Let's talk about Monday.
1700 was interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the thing that interests me, see, about this solar eclipse, it's at 23 degrees Sagittarius, and it's the same degree, more or less, that astrology started in the Industrial Revolution, like 1760, 1759. So I looked on that as like a key point of like a change point.
So both of them are Sagittarian things. And they're like conjuncting again. Conjuncting means matching up again.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like we spent so much time developing our ability to go and travel the universe, for example, in space. It's taken us all this time, and now we've eventually reached the point where hopefully we'll be able to do that using this, according to this astrology, anyway.
I watched a rocket take off yesterday. It kind of didn't land that good.
But I mean, with Tesla, and I mean, hopefully these things would, I don't know, in the next few years.
I think it crashed on purpose, though.
So
I don't know. It was a bit confusing.
Let me try and understand the cycle that is beginning now. The conjunction, is that right? Did I say the right word right?
There's a conjunction from 1759.
No.
That turns the Pluto.
There's a solar
eclipse is Sagittarius. The other thing.
The solar eclipse is more of a kind of finishing cycle.
Oh, okay.
That's where
exclamation point on the end.
Monday, closing along.
It ends on Monday.
That's a kind of key point, for ending quite a long cycle.
So what ends on Monday?
That's the thing that ends on Monday. Is that, in your estimation, the Pluto thing with the Aries?
It's kind of ending of it this year and last year. That's what I understood.
Okay, so everything that's been going on for 2019 and 2020 comes to an end on Monday.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a slightly different cycle.
Oh, no. Are you just like dangling these little carrots? So like, okay, guys, it'll be over in
I find it interesting anyway.
It'll be over on Monday.
When is it over, man?
Just give me the over day. How about the Christmas star? Is there some kind of Christmas star thing? Can it be over that day? Or is something coming on Christmas?
That Aries Pluto is all of this year, all of next year. But the thing that's starting...
What happens on Monday then?
You said
it's kind of turning point towards the end.
Oh, wait, it's a junction in a road.
It's a conjunction in the road, yeah.
Okay.
That's my understanding anyway, where it's...
We're confusing you.
It's difficult to kind of communicate about it, but...
All our astrologer listeners are pulling their hair out right now.
I think so.
And Lee is doing his best.
Very best.
make us understand what's going on. And they understand it just by the words that he says, but we haven't got a clue.
I'm pretty sure Monday's going to come to me just like
any Monday,
but the might get darker. But are we in the right place for it? I don't know.
Okay. So something happens on Monday.
It's the end
it's
on
a solar
Monday.
eclipse.
The end of something, but
no, it's not an end. He said it's a junction in the road.
A conjunction in the
conjunction. Road. What's the difference between a conjunction and a junction?
I don't know.
Conjunct is two things together, and the junction is a shift in direction.
You did just say we're going to have a shift in direction, so it's a junction conjunction.
Yeah, that's probably how they made it up. Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Okay.
I like the words. They match. Okay, we get it now.
We got it. Okay, so that happens on Monday. What should we do to prepare?
Wait, because it happens on Monday the 14th. There's another Monday the 21st. That's one that everybody's all excited about. They're not even going to notice the Monday on the 14th because the Monday the 21st is coming. Who comes on the 21st?
Yeah, what happens on the 21st, Lee?
But I would answer the first one though about Monday. I would take this opportunity to release all kind of unhelpful beliefs, basically.
All kind of
like in any kind of authority that's like unhelpful, like the political authorities. Yeah, on that eclipse. Yeah,
authorities that are unhelpful.
Like the ones that do jab or things like that. They're just not.
Medical authorities, political authorities, religious authorities. That's a perfect opportunity to release that. Maybe that's the most important thing of this call.
Perfect. On the 14th, when this video is out, right? When this podcast is out, when you're listening to this podcast on Monday, the 14th, because we pre-recorded it, make sure to drop all of your limiting beliefs and authority figures and stuff.
Oh, low frequency ones, all the ones that.
Yes, because there can be high frequency authority figures.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I suppose when we say authority figures in that regard, we mean people who you respect their opinions.
Right.
You listen to them, and they're high frequency individuals.
Yes.
They have opinions that you resonate with.
Yeah. So we drop the low frequency.
Low frequency opinions would be those that are steering you by fear.
Yeah. Yes. And the way I would look at it is I would look at the last 6 months to a year and see which people you've been following have helped you. And I would say to people, and the people who haven't been helpful, just drop them.
I love that advice.
Excellent. Perfect. Now we know what's happening Monday the 14th.
I mean, it'd be individually. Everybody will have their own people they've listened to and it hasn't worked out. And they think of that. So
that's really good advice because I check a lot of things and I look at them and I was like, God, wrong again. I could just drop those guys.
Yes, drop them.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Particularly in this situation where it's clearly visible, I think, to everybody listening or watching this, what advice they followed that's been unhelpful.
Yes.
Brilliant.
If it's fear-based, don't do it. Just drop it. Right? Got it. All right. So now, is there anything else you wanted to tell us about Monday the 14th?
No, I think that's done. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's go to Monday the 21st of January 2020.
No, sorry, just December. December this month. It's 21st of December, yeah. That's the solstice.
December the 21st, there's a solstice.
Yeah.
And there's a Jupiter and, I'm reading here, Saturn something. I didn't read.
In conjunction, that one, yeah, in Aquarius.
In Aquarius.
We have a Monday. Again, it's with 2020 and Mondays, huh? Mondays.
Yes.
I don't know why. Every Monday, something happens.
December 21st, 2020. There's a Jupiter and Saturn conjunction in
Aquarius.
Got it. What does that mean?
Also, where there's a solstice.
Yes.
So we're like
solstice. So it's like a new year in a way, isn't it? That's the new start kind of time period.
It's really a solstice conjunction with a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. So Jupiter conjunction is conjuncted with the solstice.
Yeah. So after they've let go of all that stuff.
We already
Monday
did.
They can start focusing on the kind of future more in the 21st and look at the things they want to create after that.
Set up your goals on Monday the 21st, December.
20.
Yeah.
21st, 2020, start doing your goals list, or have them established by
So
then?
one Monday we drop
Whatever
it all.
form people choose, I'd say.
One Monday we drop it all, and the next Monday we pick it all up again.
Not all the same.
No, that's something completely different.
Different, honey.
Pick up different things
No. We drop authorities that are negative
on Monday,
on Monday the 14th of December.
and then the next Monday we pick up.
We start making our own rules.
Yes.
Not following other people's rules.
Okay, got
Your
it.
own goals and look into the future and your own stuff.
So pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we can just do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
Dropped all the authorities. We don't have to pick up any. Go
catch up on
skiing,
people.
we could go swimming, we could go paddleboarding, we could go bike riding, we could just not show up to work, call in sick. Oh, we don't have to call in sick because we have authorities and our bosses are our authorities, and probably some of them are low frequency. So we're just saying, sorry, dude, dropped it. I got to go skiing. There's this boat over here. I'm going to take it for a ride.
I'd have to leave this to their own judgment, really. I mean, from that point, I don't know. That might be vital for them, that kind of job. I don't know. And personally,
well, I mean, if you're going to follow the stars and it says drop it, I mean, just drop it.
well, I mean, it might just be the time to start the intent.
Okay,
For some people, if they haven't got another source of income.
Completely drop them and don't let them know, or her, he or she, of course, or they, or whatever.
Yeah. Because in Aquarius it's like new ideas and things.
Okay.
Lee, I think you're extremely patient with us. Thank you for that.
I don't know if I really explained it all very clearly, but luckily this is recorded. So
I'm sure that every astrologer out there, anybody who understands even a tiny little bit, understands everything you're saying right now. It's just that we don't get it in those words.
I was just trying to translate it into human.
Toddler.
Toddler, yeah.
Yeah.
well, I think we got the key message, which is next Monday, drop things.
Monday 14th, drop things, which will be today if you're listening to this podcast right away. And 21st, it will be
The solstice and
you take
Jupiter
charge of
Saturn
your life
conjunction.
and start thinking long term. And what if the person missed listening to the podcast on Monday the 14th and they didn't drop it then? Can they drop it later when they hear this podcast?
Yeah, I think that's fine, isn't it? I mean, the solar eclipse by itself would astrologically continue until the next full moon after that, on the 30th of.
Full month.
A long time to drop it.
That's 2 weeks to kind of concentrate on dropping it, but closer to the eclipse is probably helpful
So you
in astrology.
You could probably wait till your Christmas break to drop your boss and just do your stuff.
That's an idea.
You won't even know. You won't even know. It'll be perfect.
But he said it's more powerful the closer you do it to the 14th.
Well, yeah, but no,
suppose
your
it-
boss pays you too. So, powerful. He also said you have a whole month. So,
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
and then, I really do want to know about this star thing because I keep seeing things on Facebook and I don't use Facebook, of course not. But on Facebook, I see these things, other people's Facebook. And there's this Christmas star that's coming around every 800 years, I think 800 years. And I think the last time, or maybe it was 2 times ago, somebody was born in a manger or something like that.
Like Jesus?
I think so.
Yeah, Jesus.
Or it could have been that one angel, Gabriel.
It's really quite a long kind of topic, but I'll try and get it briefly.
Explain it to
Well, I don't want to be misled by the fact checkers, so I want to just know the straight and
the
skinny.
strings and skinny. Okay.
You're going to be my fact checker.
Well, it's this Jupiter and Saturn, they meet up next Monday.
Oh my God.
Sorry, not next Monday. Sorry, Monday the 21st.
21st.
Jesus,
December.
Mondays in 2020. So
Yeah,
so
and then
these
they
people
don't
are
meet
gonna-
again for another 20 years.
Okay, so
20 years. What happened to 800?
Well, that's another cycle, really. On that day they're in an air sign Aquarius, because there's different astrological signs. You see, this is a very long story.
Okay, so first fact check. Does it only happen every 800 years or not?
see, as far as I can remember, it wasn't at this point in the zodiac for 800 years. It was at the same point in the stars for 800 years.
Got it.
Thank you. So we get it. Just like in this sign, it only happens once every 100 years, but otherwise it happens every 20 or something like that. So it's really a common, uncommon thing. Commonly happens.
It depends on which version of time which cycle you're looking at. Yeah.
So probably even a 80,000 year cycle that it's once of.
Could be. I mean, last time, 800 years ago, that was the Magna Carta in the UK when they signed that. So supposedly that's linked.
Isn't that something about what is the Magna Carta thing? I was at school. In school they told us, but I didn't take that test.
I think they tried to take some of the powers from the king of England and give them to more like the nobles, and make it a little bit more democratic than like absolute monarchy.
Instead of one boss, you had like 10 bosses, or what? That's better.
I think so. Yeah. But I can hear the historians screaming at me. No, as I say that. So it might be worth checking that.
Good word that you decided to shove in there and see what happens.
You didn't realize I might not even know what that was also, so you might have to describe or explain it. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Magna Carta had something to do with the Declaration of Independence or something. Did they put those together in some way? Or that was from
it was more like devolving power, I think, from the king.
Decentralizing
the power?
I think so, yeah.
Was it a good thing or was it a bad thing? How's that?
A lot of people say it was a good thing, but then they wrote the histories, so I don't know. Maybe the other people, like the king is probably bitter.
The king was not very pleased with this whole Magna Carta thing. What if he was a good king? Do they have such a thing as a good king? Or are all kings bad? I mean, is there such a thing?
I don't know, yeah. I think...
What about Octavius?
Octavius wasn't so bad, was he?
I think this is
200 years of world peace. I mean, he didn't do such a poor job.
Yeah, I think
so. It would have been a good thing or a bad thing, this Magna Carta, if you tried to put it on him.
Yeah, I think it was good. I mean, there were lots of things. I mean, that's when Robin Hood was, I think, fighting against King John at the same time. So he probably, had a lot of pressure on him, I guess, with robbers. And, he was like, oh, let's throw them a bone,
So the Magna Carta was a good thing if you're not the king, basically, what you're saying.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe he was under pressure. I mean, he was like, people were trying to attack him the whole time.
Maybe he was delegating.
Yeah. And then Richard the Lionheart was in the Crusades, not helping at all.
Yeah.
So 800 years ago, Jupiter, Saturn, Christmas star thing made the Magna Carta, which was good or bad, depending on who you were, which is, I guess, what you're saying with astrology is, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but you might as well pick the high frequency side of it.
Yeah.
Well, it occurs to me that, the Crusades were happening then, and that's the Middle East. So maybe something with the Middle East might be happening at this time. That might be a link between then and now.
Oh, I've heard troubles about that. Peace in the Middle East, and they have peace treaties, and they have people mad at each other too. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe something's happening, and they're going to use that day as a day to write a new Magna Carta, but a different thing for Middle Eastern. Is that what you're thinking? It's going to be focused on the Middle East. You did spend some time in that area, didn't you? In Africa?
Yeah, in like Saudi Arabia, and places like that.
So, in your experience, do they need a Magna Carta in that area?
I think the Arab and the Gulf countries could do with some form of devolution of power.
Oh.
Decentralizing of
power.
I'm just such a disruptive element. I'm sorry, but
So I kind of, I guess, it makes sense that the Christmas star, because that was the thing of the guy in the manger. That's the story I was always told. There's a baby in a manger and they had a Christmas star. But I don't know, that's 1,600 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it's 2,000. So I don't know, times are weird.
Mm-hmm.
There are political shifts in the UK as well that might be linked, I suppose. Where basically people are bypassing.
At the moment you're in England.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you live in England.
So you're disrupting England, basically.
So now you started disrupting England.
Yes.
They
need it. They need it.
Africa, Northern Africa has calmed down because Lee's left
Yes,
the house.
Calm down.
And he's sending a star. Well, 800-year star is going to make everything better, just like Magna Carta.
Uh-huh.
But in England, it's going to be rough. So, like, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we need a few more Robin Hoods in the UK, basically, yes. To disrupt the rulers of the UK.
Got it.
From the rich to the poor, rather than the poor to the rich, which is how things have been going.
Now that we kind of have an understanding, thank you, Lee, about what happens on the solar eclipse and on the solstice, can you tell us how these relate to the whole COVID-19 and vaccination thing on the planet? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, why is it all a planet thing? I mean, how can they possibly make it a planet thing anyways?
Yeah, I think they're using the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which happened in January, and kind of following the dates of when those planets get close to each other, something else seems to happen, like another lockdown. Then Jupiter gets together and there's another lockdown. Oh, there's more kind of vaccine news.
Whole year.
Why didn't you tell us?
Well, I did kind of try to mention it sometimes, but it's difficult to slip into the conversation.
You just slipped it in conversation. Oh, by the way, on Tuesday it's going to lock down. How about that lunch?
Yeah, they seem to be following this rigidly. I'm like, these people who decide these things, like the COVID and lockdowns. And
how can we counteract it? How can we counteract it?
I've heard that before, though, before we counteract
disagree with it and don't believe it.
One of the things that we need to understand, I think most people, is they go on through their life like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then whatever, right? And they have some beliefs and some not, and some not, and some not. But some of the people who are like pulling strings have very strongly held beliefs about some of these things, right? Like astrology and conjunctions. Mm-hmm. And when they plan what they're going to do, they use some of these things, and they're very powerful meaning to them.
Not just them, but yeah.
And it sort of makes them powerfully meant to us who aren't paying attention also, because they believe strongly in them and then they use them.
They use the energies. And
they use that energy.
We don't live in isolation, obviously, yeah. The energies do impact. So I
guess what I'm saying is it's important to listen to Astro Lee. Mm-hmm. And it would be important for Astro Lee to actually tell us.
Yes.
Let's make more videos, yeah.
So you do have a YouTube channel, and it's called, what's your YouTube channel called?
It's under my name, Lee Dorset, with Astro Lee. If you search for Astro Lee, they will find it.
Okay.
ASTROLEE.
Okay. So
that's YouTube.
That's YouTube. So
website is just leedorset.com, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which I'm going to link to the YouTube. My technical skills are kind of lacking, but I am hoping to get some help.
So anyways, now that we know that these people have been doing lockdowns based on the stars, when is the next one?
It seems to me that, that must be the end of it, because it was mainly a Capricorn thing, like Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter in Capricorn, and that kind of finishes like next week as well. So it seems to me that it must be done now.
Is it finished on Monday?
Is that finished on Monday, or are we going to wait for
next weekend on the 19th of December, that's when they leave Capricorn. Right. But this Jupiter-Saturn one on the 21st, it could be used by anybody in any way they want. Oh. So people technically who have decided to follow the timeline of lockdown vaccine, they could attempt to use that date for some other reason, the one on the 21st. Well, so I would suggest people don't agree with that. Sorry.
So most everyone that listens to this podcast understands about the physical split and, the earlier split, which was not so much physical, and then got delayed, installed, and messed around with. So this coming Jupiter-Saturn would be a good day for a very physical manifestation of a split. So you could pick which world you want, right?
Yeah, it looks very much like it.
It'd be a good day to, Monday you dropped authorities, your boss and all that other stuff.
On the 14th.
On the 14th. And then the next 19th. Monday you selected the paradigm you're going to persist in.
Yes.
I would say that's a good strategy, yeah.
Geez, I'm glad we talked to you, Lee. I mean, we could have went right through that whole time and not even thought about it.
Right.
And where would we be then?
I don't know. I find the tarot cards helpful as well, though, to be honest.
Okay.
but this is those cards you've got. The cards are really helpful.
So the paradigm we exist in has Lee in it, and an interview with him this morning, which comes out this perfect. So now we can know. You can't say you didn't know.
Because
We definitely told
you
you.
heard it here, probably not first, but you definitely did. Are you going to continue giving updates on your YouTube channel then?
Yeah, once a week. Yeah, we'll do that. And I'm thinking of putting something on Patreon. I think is maybe like the kind of subscriber things.
Hey,
With more in-depth videos for these longer cycles that we talked about today.
Nice.
I would definitely be a subscriber.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm trying to understand it.
Yeah, we are. I mean, we make a lot of fun, but we understand it.
I appreciate the work that's gone into, all of this, where are these stars and things lining up and conjuncting. I know the books, I looked at some of the books and I was like, oh my God, forget it.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Translator, I need a very good translator and,
Somebody to cut out the jargon, I think.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So thank you for the translation.
Thank you for the translation. So what is this 359-year cycle? Did we talk about that one yet?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the one that started with the Industrial Revolution, then it moved towards the cars, and that, and then.
That's how much I have understood.
That was the first cycle, honey.
Got it.
That's the one probably with the meteor and Pluto, right?
Very exciting, though. It's like space travel, artificial intelligence, yeah. And, oh my God, yeah. It'd be amazing, yeah.
So the next part of that cycle is that space travel and AI.
Okay.
Which for some people isn't very exciting.
No.
Obviously, on
Polarized.
Monday the 21st, they can pick the one where the AI is like a Terminator.
Oh,
and the rest of us can pick the AI like
223 from the Return series.
The
Return.
The UFOs that AI helped, maybe that would be, for humans, that would be something, wouldn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't hardly wait for this. Do I gotta wait till Monday? Yeah, I gotta wait till Monday. I mean, we don't have to wait. Of course, you said we don't have to wait. And some of us can take the day and then do it a little bit later so we can wait a little bit more. But if you do it on that day, then it has the universe supporting you.
Yeah, the most powerful.
Mostly, and supporting you in the most powerful way.
So, yeah. Because that's the spirit, yeah.
So I've heard some people say, well, this planet's moving like this fast, right? It's like achingly slow, and then
yeah.
So what's the difference between this day and that day and that day?
Well, it's not very much, really.
It's not very much.
So Larry was explaining for our listeners.
Yeah, before our listeners,
he was with his hands. He was moving them very slowly past each other, and he was saying, "What is the difference between?" They're being
almost there, then they are there, and then they're past there.
But not quite
but not
separate
very much. Yet. So the difference is a great deal. I mean, isn't there a magic, like, powerful moment where it's like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when they're exactly there, that's like the most powerful period in astrology, yeah. But when they're quite close, it's still pretty powerful.
All right. So the moment when they're actually there, that's actual an hour and a time...
Yeah,
is it the time all over the world, or is it?
In Shaman, in near Bay time, that would be 8:15 a.m. where you are.
8:15 a.m. Monday the 14th.
Yeah.
Oh,
is there a solar eclipse? Yeah.
So near Bay time, for anybody who doesn't know, is Pacific Standard, United States.
Yes, 8:15 a.m. Pacific. On Monday the 14th is going to be the most powerful drop-it day.
That's the most powerful edge, because that's basically an edge magic day.
It is magic, edge magic. Yeah, we're very familiar with edge magic. So.
And so on Monday the 21st, we have the Jupiter-Saturn solstice. Which time do they match up to?
Well, I'm not sure of the exact time. That's the thing. It's more or less, it's there for 3 days. It's 3 days where it's like it's pretty much there, but most of Monday the 21st is, oh, hello, Princess,
Romeo came in, he was so excited about the solstice.
Yeah, and he's knocking over cameras and lights and stuff.
Okay, go outside. Good boy. All better.
All right. Sorry about that, Lee.
At least there's no pets.
Yeah, I'll try and check the actual time for the solstice.
Okay.
Because it's...
Oh, yeah, I guess it's easy enough for anyone to look up. Maybe that might be one of those things that you empower people to do themselves.
Yeah, I think...
That part's not. You could probably even ask Siri.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's different everywhere in the world anyway. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
But...
I remember one time we had to get up really, really early to have a little edge magic on the solstice. Well, it felt very early.
Yeah.
Do you think it's always a morning thing, or is it shift around?
I think that might be powerful, because you were talking about the edge, weren't you? Like where it changes from dark to light in the morning. I haven't really thought about it, but yeah, that's a great idea, isn't it?
Okay, perfect. Wow, that was an amazing conversation. Thank you for your patience.
So enjoyable. Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, and is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners before we leave? Any last message you'd like to say to our listeners?
Maybe, next year, that'd be a good topic.
Yeah, just kind of once they've released all their kind of allegiance to kind of negative authorities on Monday, just kind of be open to new ideas and new things that will come in after that.
I like that.
So spend your year after
things that will change their world.
Creating a new world.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, bringing it. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have anything, any insights for 2021?
Well, that seems to be a big year of the old kind of traditional kind of reality, and then the new kind of reality kind of like against each other a little bit most of the year. So we'll have our two realities, I would say, by that point.
Wow.
Are those two realities going to be like fighting each other? Or, I mean, how is a high frequency?
Well, they might be helping each other in some ways. There might be some elements of the old that we really like, or some elements of the new that we don't like. So they kind of like give us options that they have.
So lots of options.
So there's plenty of options to assemble your reality.
Yeah, there's like whole new ideas coming in according to the astrology of Aquarius anyway. Aquarius is like kind of flashes of genius, really.
Yes.
That's what we were talking about that last night. Where do these flashes of genius come from? And they come from Aquarius, is what he said?
Yeah, because basically it's after a Capricorn where people have learned the rules and then they know how to break them, basically, in Aquarius.
They've learned them so well now they know how to break them.
And Pisces, they can be like an artist.
Yeah. All right.
You know the rules so well, you can break them with ease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, Lee. And again, to remind everybody, you can go to leedorset.com, leedorset.com, to find more. And there'll probably be a link to your YouTube channel there.
Yes, I'm going to. Yes.
Perfect. All right.
And of course, to find you, Inelia Benz.
Oh, yeah. To find my work, you go to ineliabenz.com and you can join us in conversation. And Lee's a member of the club. Walkwithmenow.com.
Such an amazing place. I really, it's worth joining.
Totally. All right. That's the end.
Yeah, I feel like I know how to handle 2021. Perfect. I know a couple of Mondays in the way between here and there.
And then we're good.
But then I got it easy peasy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Love you, darling.
Love you too.
And she's like,
what about me? What about me?
What about me?